Thank you for joining us. I'm Peter Dubois.
And I'm Beth Jones. First tonight, 29-year-old Benjamin Pouchard of Brewer was sentenced to multiple years in prison today.
That sentence comes after he pleaded guilty to sexual assault charges. Our Doug Banks has details.
At the Penobscot Judicial Center on Tuesday, former athletic trainer Benjamin Pouchard of Brewer was sentenced to 9 years in prison, with all but 3 years suspended. Pouchard was found guilty on 3 counts: gross sexual assault, unlawful sexual contact, and criminal restraint. After completing his sentence, Pouchard will serve 6 years probation, but may serve the remainder of his prison term if he violates those conditions. These charges stem from 2015, and it wasn't until 2021 when the victim sued Pouchard, the Brewer School Department, and Pouchard's employer, which later led to those charges. The lawsuit, which is currently pending in U.S. District Court, seeks $15 million in damages. Oral arguments are expected to begin next month. In Bangor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A Maine man has pleaded guilty to assaulting a law enforcement officer during the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol. According to court records, 40-year-old Matthew Brackley of Waldoboro attended the Stop the Steal rally before making his way to the Capitol building. Brackley entered the crypt where a large group of rioters had filled the room and pushed against a line of Capitol police officers. The rioters eventually overwhelmed the officers and gained further access into the building. Officers tried to stop him again in the Senate chamber, but he leaned forward and pushed through them. Brackley pushed against officers a third time in the chamber. He will be sentenced in May.
Former Maine gubernatorial candidate Elliot Cutler has been released early from the Hancock County Jail. In May of last year, Cutler pleaded guilty to 4 counts of possession of child pornography. Prosecutors say Cutler possessed more than 80,000 images of children being sexually abused. Under a plea deal, the judge accepted a 4-year sentence with just 9 months to be served. Cutler began his sentence in June. His release today comes about a month and a half early. He's now on probation for 6 years and must register as a sex offender for life.
A former Gouldsboro fire chief who had moved on to become fire chief in Winter Harbor now faces a new felony charge in connection with an alleged fraud scheme. Tatum McLean had been previously indicted on charges of forgery, unsworn falsification, and theft by misapplication of property in connection with alleged fraudulent actions during his time in Gouldsboro. He now faces a new felony charge, aggravated criminal invasion of computer privacy, in connection with the same case. The criminal complaint alleges he made an unauthorized copy of a computer program or software. Meanwhile, in a newly filed court motion, his defense attorney is seeking personnel records on one of McLean's former colleagues in the Gouldsboro Fire Department, who the lawyer alleges was at least equally involved in the alleged fraudulent behavior.
Waterville police are looking for a suspect following an armed robbery. They were called to a Big Apple convenience store on Elm Street last night after someone held up the business around 7 o'clock. The suspect had already fled the scene by the time officers arrived. According to the Morning Sentinel, police used a dog to search for the suspect, but there's no word on how that search ended. We'll bring you any updates as we get them.
Well, Maine State Police have identified the 2 people who were killed in a multi-vehicle crash in Washington County this week. They say 35-year-old Tiffany Tinker was driving and 36-year-old Jennifer Sutherland was the passenger. Both are from New Brunswick, Canada. The crash occurred on Route 9 near Township 30 around 11 o'clock Wednesday morning. Maine State Police say Tinker and Sutherland were in a small sedan traveling westbound on Route 9 when they lost control of the vehicle coming around a corner and veered into the lane of an oncoming log truck. Roadway conditions appear to have been a factor in the crash. The operator of the log truck wasn't injured, and that crash remains under investigation.
Today, the Department of Transportation announced a record $4.7 billion in projects over the next 3 years. Our David Ledford has details on what you can expect in your area.
People just driving around will go, there's a lot going on.
The Maine DOT released this year's version of its 3-year work plan. The department puts out a new plan each January, but this one is the largest they've ever announced. Crews are slated to work on 2,672 different work items with a total value of $4.74 billion. Thanks to state and federal funding. A portion of those funds will go towards creating infrastructure for electric vehicle charging.
We're doing work on the bus system, Bangor's Community Connector bus storage facility. And they're going to put charging equipment there, and it's close to $10 million.
And improving public transit.
We just started additional runs from Bangor to Portland with an existing bus service, take care of those kind of inner city needs for people that don't have an automobile.
Across the state, the department will carry out several major projects, as seen on your screen, including construction of a hybrid ferry to travel between Lincolnville and Islesboro, upgrades to the Bangor International Airport, and an $84 million bypass in Presque Isle. There will also be plenty of construction on highways and bridges across the state, and a large portion of the funds will go towards upgrading existing transportation systems. And there are plans to address the impact of Maine's weather on roads and bridges.
There's a couple of bridges in Old Town, Stillwater Avenue bridges. Our goal is to build the first bridges that can't rust using technology from the University of Maine.
For more information on projects happening in your area, view the Maine DOT's 2024 work plan on maine.gov and search by municipality. In Augusta, David Ledford, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, Maine DHHS is announcing changes to the Office of Child and Family Services after the deaths of several children at the hands of their caretakers. Starting today, Commissioner Jean Lambrou has appointed Bobby Johnson as the office's permanent director. Johnson previously served as acting director of the office and will now launch a management review of the Child Welfare Division. Also, behavioral health services within DHHS will be reorganized to, quote, benefit staff support and outcomes for Maine children and families, end quote. This comes as recommendations from the Government Oversight Committee were released last week.
The use of flavored tobacco products has been a hot button issue for a few years now, and now more groups are voicing their support for a bill that would end the sale of flavored tobacco products in Maine altogether. Nearly 40 organizations in the Environmental Coalition of Maine have added their voices to support LD 1215, which was passed in the Senate last year and is expected to be taken up in the House in the coming months. According to the coalition, tobacco products have a big environmental impact in Maine.
A 2022 World Health Organization report documents the tobacco industry's environmental damage. This report shows carbon emissions from the tobacco industry are equivalent to 1/5 of the airline industry's annual CO2 emissions. That's a lot. The report also shows that cigarette filters, which contain microplastics, are the second highest form of plastic. They're so little and they're so awful, of plastic pollution worldwide.
If passed, LD 1215 would make it illegal for flavored tobacco products, including vape liquid and disposable vape cartridges, to be sold in the state. Supporters say the tobacco industry targets kids with sweet and fruity flavors.
The Secretary of State has confirmed the Libertarian Party is a qualified party in Maine. To be qualified, there must be at least 5,000 members enrolled. Qualified party status means the Libertarian Party will have ballot access for general elections, including the presidential election. The Libertarians joined the Democratic, Republican, Green, Independent, and No Labels parties as qualified parties here in Maine. Maine's 2024 primaries will be held under the new semi-open primary law. Unenrolled voters now have the option to vote in any primary without having to enroll in the party.
Environmental legislation and climate change were the focus at the State House today. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard heard from both sides of the aisle about what they think should be done.
Faced with the widespread destruction of the environment, people everywhere are coming to understand that we cannot continue to use the goods of the earth as we have in the past. The gradual depletion of the ozone layer and the related greenhouse effect has now reached crisis proportions.
Climate change and the environment were front and center at the State House on Thursday. Representative Rebecca Millett, a Democrat from Cape Elizabeth, sponsored a joint resolution calling for Congress to act and pass a non-proliferation treaty to reduce fossil fuel use. The measure was largely opposed by House Republicans, but passed by a vote of 74 to 55. One climate-related bill making its way for a public hearing early next week has to do with reducing natural gas use in Maine.
The scientists have been clear that we need to halt all new fossil fuel projects now if we want to avoid irreversible climate chaos.
We highlighted a bill that would direct the state of Maine to rethink the role that natural gas plays in our energy system. LD 2077 is an act regarding customer costs and the environmental and health effects of natural gas.
Opponents of the bill say people should be able to choose whatever heating source they want for their homes, and it shouldn't be restricted by legislation.
This misguided legislation is part of the Democrat Party's fast and furious approach to end the use of fossil fuels in the state of Maine. At a time when we should be expanding our natural gas pipeline capacity to grow industry and create jobs, this legislation prohibits that expansion. This whatever it takes approach to climate change being used by legislative Democrats is going to lead to more Mainers being unemployed and homeless.
The bill, LD 2077, will have a public hearing on Tuesday at 1 p.m. A link to read the full bill will be available on our website. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
All right, well, looking outdoors earlier, it was a chillier day, but with the sun out and lack of wind, as we said earlier, pretty comfortable out there. Things have changed, though, now that the sun has gone down.
Yeah, it certainly has, and we are looking at a very chilly overnight. And with more on that, we will turn things over and take a first check of our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth. And wow, hopefully you bundled up out there this morning. It was cold outside. Our actual temperature, single digits. Of course, it feels like temperatures were way colder than that. A couple of spots were even below zero. Now, once again, we're going to see bitterly cold temperatures overnight tonight, so make sure you put on those layers by tomorrow morning. Check this out. 2 degrees here in town. Millenockett's at 1, and all the way up north, we're talking way below zero. It's finally feeling like winter. I love the snow, and this is a beautiful scene outside. We have around 4-5 inches of snow on the ground. You got to go well up north of Greenville, actually, to get into a foot plus on the ground. For now, though, bunch of clouds in the area, but we are dry. We will continue to stay dry overnight tonight. Temperatures back in those single digits. Beth?
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you so much. And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, some Maine veterans will be getting some heating assistance thanks to a donation from a local business.
And a restaurant that had to shut its doors early this season is making the best of their unused inventory. We'll explain after this.
Silver Fox Automotive is a family-owned and operated company with more than 30 years of experience. We are originally from the county and offer competitive prices and promise you will be completely satisfied with our work. We offer a stress-free experience to both our new and returning customers. We only use parts from reputable brands to ensure your vehicle is safe to drive. Here at Silver Fox, there will always be a friendly face to greet you. Come see us at 2004 Audlin Road in Herman.
Maine Commercial Solar offers a variety of services including solar systems design, sales, maintenance, and installation. Maine Commercial Solar can help you with existing or new systems. We offer packages for installation by others, or we can help you build your own solar array, smaller residential, or anything in between. Maine Commercial Solar is currently hiring in Herman for multiple positions. We offer competitive pay, a 3% IRA match, vacation, holiday time, and a family-oriented environment. If interested, please call Jason at 848-7486.
Don't get cold feet this winter. Stay warm and dry with high-performance footwear from Comfort Shoes and More. With an extensive selection of winter boots rated from 0 to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit, you'll find comfort in knowing your feet will be warm in any weather. Discover the latest in functional and fashionable footwear with grippers built right into the sole. With boots in stock up to 6E and size 17 for men and women. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
The year-end clearance sale is on at Maine's #1 Kia dealer, Van Sickle Kia. Save over $3,000 on an all-wheel drive 2019 Toyota Highlander or 2022 Ford Explorer King Ranch, or drive a 2022 all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza Premium for just $23,999. That's $4,075 below book. Choose from Chevys, GMCs, Toyotas, Subarus, Jeeps, Rams, and more. Van Sickle Kia has something for everyone.
More car, more value, less money. I'm Peter Van Sickle. I guarantee it.
Christian McCaffrey leads the Niners as they begin their road to a title against the Packers. The NFC Divisional Playoffs, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox.
Hello, everyone. Coming up on the next Good Morning Maine, the latest installment of Destination Devon. We'll hear from UMaine researchers who are looking for new ways to turn squid into edible products. We'll tell you all about it on Good Morning Maine, and we hope you'll join us.
A generous donation by Coastal Auto Parts in Ellsworth will help provide heating assistance to Maine veterans. Our Matthew Jurancic has the story.
Really excited. Really, this is the first time we've ever been able to do anything like this.
Working with the Maine Veterans Project, Coastal Auto Parts was able to raise $10,000 over the span of 2 months.
We've grown it to the size, and now to be able to give back to the organizations in the state and help out the communities in other ways, to be able to keep them warm, keep them happy, and just help out Doc and what he's doing with his organization.
The money raised from the partnership goes directly to R.H. Foster, who will distribute the fuel. Any veteran interested in receiving fuel assistance can call the Maine Veterans Project, where you can speak to Doc Goodwin and he'll help you out.
Last year we delivered over 12,000 gallons of heating fuel, which was by and far our biggest year yet. And I'm incredibly proud to say that last year the Maine Veterans Project was able to help every single eligible veteran that reached out to us for heating fuel.
Goodwin says he's thankful for the partnership.
They call us and ask, how can we help? And that right there means the world. When a company reaches out and says, we want to be part of the solution, that's amazing.
Veterans who are interested in receiving fuel assistance must also be part of R.H. Foster's coverage area, which includes Somerset, Hancock, Waldo, Penobscot, and Washington counties. Matthew Jurancic, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
A restaurant in Southwest Harbor has to cut their season short due to damage sustained from the recent storms. However, they're making the best of it by putting their extra inventory to good use. Our Grace Blanchard shows us how.
Our guys go fish 6 to 7 days a week, depending on the time of the year. It's just what we do.
Beal's Lobster Pier has been providing fresh seafood to Southwest Harbor for decades. But after sustaining damage from the recent storms, they have been forced to shut their doors for the rest of the winter.
You know, pretty drastic up and down the coast of Maine for sure. These were the two strongest storms we've seen back to back, and some of my fishermen are telling me ever.
However, they are not letting their food go to waste, as they are donating their frozen food inventory to local food banks, soup kitchens, and charities to help those in need.
As a company, as a family, one of our big primary things is taking care of folks around us when we can.
It's, I hope it's making lemonade out of lemons.
Local Tom Marinke was picking up frozen lobster meat to deliver to the Neighborhood House Community Center in Mount Desert. He says efforts like these are incredibly impactful.
But we really appreciate this, and this will go to the community. So it's really nice of Beal's to do this.
The restaurant is expected to remain closed until this spring as they focus on repairs. But Snyder says they will help anyone they can while supplies last.
And ready for another season, and we're looking forward to it. So that's where we're at.
In Southwest Harbor, Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, right now, the city of Portland is working to remove rats at Harborview Park. The recent infestation follows the clearing of a homeless encampment on the site earlier this month. But as Johnny Maffey reports, there's now a group of people trying to rescue some of those rats.
When I found out about the poisoning of wild rats, and then finding out that they were actually domestic, I became very quickly anxious.
The city says the rat infestation began with the homeless camp under the Casco Bay Bridge, but when it was cleared out, the problem did not go away, so the city started an extermination process. One concern, though, some of the rats are pets.
Wild rats, if she was a wild rat that wasn't domesticated, she would not be sitting in my arms like this. Absolutely not. She is not a biter. She's not trying to bite at all. She has no interest in biting. Wildies, their defense is biting. So that is their only defense, is to bite. She doesn't have that defense mechanism. She doesn't understand.
Brittany Smith introduced us to Sheila, one of the rats in treatment. She says this behavior shows the rats are not wild. Smith is one of more than 100 people from multiple states coordinating to save the domestic ones by getting them treatment and a new home, but they, like neighbors, want the problem solved.
The problem is that there are domestic animals in the park that are being treated as wild animals and exterminated using very aggressive pest control technology.
Meaning the poisonous traps don't just harm the rats, but anything that can be exposed to them.
The whole area is really a hazard zone, and they're not doing anything to let their locals know about how hazardous it is for their pets and their children.
Some of the volunteers and supporters trying to rescue the rats are actually even taking them in themselves because places like the Animal Refuge League of Greater Portland are not, due to the fact that even if the rats were domesticated, they've been living out here for long enough where they can still spread diseases. And in the same light of those concerns, well, the city's extermination process continues.
Thank you again for an incredible, prompt, and effective response to get rid of the rats. Rats carry disease, rats bite people, and they're gone.
The city says the extermination process will take at least another week.
They are a pet. They are a friend. They're friends. They're not enemies. And I just wish people could have a little bit more humanity to realize you don't have to like something. You can be scared of it, but you should still feel sympathy.
And that was Johnny Maffei reporting.
All right, well, coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, the DOJ releases their report on the law enforcement response to the Uvalde mass shooting.
And new worries. The present conflicts in the Middle East could further expand into a regional conflict. We'll have the latest from overseas. Stay with us.
Are plumbing problems giving you a headache? Look no further than Sprague's Plumbing Solutions. With more than 10 years' experience, Sprague's Plumbing Solutions has the knowledge to assist with your plumbing issues. Whether it's a service, remodel, new build, or commercial, we've got you covered. For reliable, professional plumbing services, call Sprague's Plumbing Solutions today for a free estimate. 951-1637. We're here to make your plumbing problems disappear.
Toyota's all-wheel drive vehicles not only conquer the elements, Toyota conquers its competitors by sheer selection. You see, Toyota has 22 different all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive models. That's more than Subaru, more than Honda, more than Jeep. Conquer most anything with the 202 horsepower all-wheel drive Camry or the fun all-wheel drive Corolla Cross, both with Toyota Safety Sense technology included. See your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive headquarters. Toyota, let's go places.
Is that a new generator at your house?
Yep, a Generac automatic standby generator from Valley Home Services. They just installed it. Wished I'd done it sooner.
Comes on automatically?
Yep, no more standing out in the cruddy weather tugging on a rope to start.
Powers your well pump?
Does the whole house. You can come over next time the power goes out. I went with Valley because they'll service and maintain it.
What's the number? I want my own.
Here you go. Call Valley Home Services to install a Generac automatic standby generator for your home today.
Create the perfect spaces in your home for 2024 at the Furniture Gallery. Entertain in style this year with a new dining set. Have room for everyone on movie nights with a big sectional and extra seating. Feel more rested with a new mattress from Serta, Restonic, or Nectar. Celebrate the new year with unbeatable values during our New Year blowout sale. Save up to 60% on clearance items here at the Furniture Gallery. Support our main family-owned business and save money. Happy New Year from our family to yours. The Furniture Gallery, in Augusta, Bangor, Newport, and North Windham.
We've got a huge game here. And this place is buzzing now.
You can't guard against that, Gus.
To the bucket. Oh! Nicely done. We got a ball game going on, folks.
Talk about some nuggets.
Yes, don't hurt him.
Saturday, it's a huge doubleheader on Fox.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
We're learning disturbing new information about the law enforcement response to the horrific shooting at a school in Uvalde, Texas in May of 2022. Fox's Casey Stiegel takes a look at a new report from the Justice Department.
I hope that the failures end today.
Raw emotion from parents who lost their children in the attack on Robb Elementary School, where 19 students and 2 teachers were killed by a crazed gunman.
We're going to continue fighting that some type of change is made in honor of our kids.
Today, the Justice Department released its Critical Incident Review findings, a nearly 600-page report highlighting what went wrong with the police response that day. Attorney General Merrick Garland traveled to Uvalde, where he met with survivors and toured murals honoring the victims. Garland says the biggest mistake was made by the incident commander, then School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo, who treated the situation as a barricaded subject instead of an active shooter.
Had the law enforcement agencies followed generally accepted practices in an active shooter situation and gone right after the shooter to stop him, lives would have been saved and people would have survived.
The report says because first responders demonstrated no urgency, what resulted were cascading failures, leading to hundreds of officers responding to the scene confused and waiting around.
And it meant that the victims remained trapped with a shooter for more than an hour after the first officers arrived on scene.
The feds say even after the attack was over, bad problems got worse.
Victims who had already passed away were taken to the hospital in ambulances, while children with bullet wounds were put on school buses without any medical attention.
The report does not address criminal culpability here in Uvalde, but it does contain recommendations moving forward, like a national standard of training for law enforcement across the country to help better address future mass shootings. That's the latest from Uvalde, Texas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Texas is upping the ante in a high-stakes showdown with the Biden administration over federal land seized by the state. Governor Greg Abbott ordered the Texas National Guard to seize federal land on the border, arguing they could do a better job than the Biden administration at regulating the border with Mexico and complaining that federal agents remove razor wire the state implements. The United States government is suing Texas, arguing its agents need access to this 2.5-mile stretch of land around Shelby Park, especially during emergencies. The mayor of Eagle Pass, where Shelby Park is located, openly questioned the move and the timing, given that crossings have fallen in recent weeks. The U.S. government has also requested the Supreme Court order Texas to allow federal agents onto the property. The court has not yet acted on that request.
Hunter Biden will appear in front of the House for a deposition next month. The chairman of the House Oversight Committee and the House Judiciary Committee announcing on Thursday that the son of the president will appear for the private deposition on February 28th. The deposition comes after several interviews with members of the Biden family and associates. Hunter will be under oath, and questions will mostly stem from staff attorneys, although committee members are allowed to speak as well. The change in tune comes 1 week after Hunter Biden crashed a House Oversight Committee meeting and then abruptly walked out minutes later.
Well, E. Jean Carroll resumed her testimony in the multi-million-dollar defamation trial against former President Trump in a New York courtroom Thursday. She faced Trump's lawyers in cross-examination and was challenged about her notoriety and her motives linked to the lawsuits against the former president. Fox's C.B. Cotton has details.
Writer E. Jean Carroll took the stand again Thursday in her second multi-million-dollar civil trial against former President Donald Trump. Last year, he was found liable for sexually abusing Carroll in the 90s and for defaming her in 2022. Now, she's seeking damages for defamation in 2019 when he was president, which Trump denies.
Thank you. Thank you, E.G.
A more subdued setting Thursday with Trump not in court after Carroll explained how the former president had shattered her reputation and made her a target of his followers' threats. The defense spending a majority of time focused on how Carroll was harmed. This after a dramatic scene in the courtroom a day earlier with outbursts from Trump as Carroll was on the stand. At one point, Judge Lewis Kaplan threatening to bar Trump from the room when he was talking and making gestures during Carroll's testimony.
It's a rigged deal. It's a made-up, fabricated story. And I, frankly, am the one that suffered damages. I should be given money, given damages.
Trump and his legal team attempting to delay the trial until Monday while he attends his mother-in-law's funeral without much success. The former president continues to blast Kaplan, seeking for the judge to recuse himself.
And that's a nasty man. He's a nasty judge. He's a Trump-hating guy, and it's obvious to everybody in the court. It's a disgrace, frankly, what's happening. It's a disgrace.
Carroll and her attorneys are seeking at least $10 million in damages. In New York, C.B. Cotton, Fox News.
Iran is stirring up trouble again, attacking neighbors as its proxy groups fight against the U.S. and Israel. Fox's senior foreign affairs correspondent Greg Palcott has more from London.
As the fighting rages on inside Gaza, diplomats are scrambling to stop the war from expanding, but it doesn't appear to be working. Pakistan's Air Force launching retaliatory airstrikes against Iran early Thursday, reportedly targeting terrorists. It came just one day after Iranian airstrikes on Pakistan, also allegedly against militant groups there. And we're also bracing for a response from Iraq after Iran launched a missile strike on what it claims was an Israeli spy headquarters in the city of Erbil. At the same time, Iranian-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen continue targeting ships in the Red Sea, and Tehran claims it's all connected to the war in Gaza.
Today, the security of the Red Sea is intertwined with the developments in Gaza. All of us will be damaged if ethnic cleansing and crimes of Israel and Gaza are not stopped.
But the U.S. isn't buying that excuse, claiming Iran is using its proxies like Hamas and Hezbollah to stir up trouble in the region, hoping to take advantage of the chaos.
The whole argument that this is about the war in Gaza, I mean, they're just driving the stake through a straw man. There's nothing there.
And while there's been no additional U.S. military assets deployed to the region so far, the Pentagon says it's keeping all options on the table.
We do maintain the ability to be flexible in terms of whether or not we need to place additional forces in the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility or anywhere worldwide.
And tensions are only expected to climb higher, with Iran planning a major military drill along the Pakistani border in the coming days. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
And still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, an unlicensed biolab run by a Chinese national is discovered in California.
And Ellsworth Cheerleading is looking to defend their Big East title up in Presque Isle this weekend. We'll be right back.
Every week, TMZ digs deep as Hollywood's biggest secrets are exposed. TMZ investigates January 22nd on Fox.
Let's face it, getting training and experience is hard, but at Loring Job Corps, we can help. From certifications in automotive technology, obtaining your CDL, or learning building trades, we have you covered. Maybe you prefer joining the high-tech world of computer networking or cybersecurity. We have that as well. Don't delay, get in the driver's seat to your future today. And the best part, Loring Job Corps is free. Receive free training, free meals, and even free housing. Call or go to jobcorps.gov/Loring. Job Corps careers begin here.
CEM DP Porter Contractors has been in business for over 40 years in the Bangor area. We specialize in commercial, medical, and residential design build construction, as well as building maintenance and renovations. CEM DP Porter Contractors is currently hiring in Herman for multiple positions, including carpenters and a project manager superintendent. We offer vacation, holidays, a 3% IRA match, competitive pay, and a family-oriented environment. If interested in applying, please contact Jason at 848-7486.
Football fans, with a Caesars Sportsbook app, you can be in the game all the time. Seeking instant action? Quick Picks offers you the most popular games and markets, already built for you and ready to bet. Experience the thrill when you stack your bets to create a super parlay. Build bets for your favorite teams and players across multiple games. This season, don't just watch the game. Download Caesars Sportsbook and experience the game like never before.
Do you need to replace your old, worn-out windows? Then you need to call Renewal by Andersen today. We're the replacement window division of Andersen, which means you can get your project started right away by scheduling a free in-home consultation. Ask your consultant about pricing options, including our 1-year price lock guarantee quote. Call now to schedule your free design consultation. This fantastic money-saving deal with great financing ends soon. Installation is always included. Call now.
My father worked at the mill for over 30 years. He was exposed to a great community and excelled at his job, but he was also exposed to asbestos. The air quality inside the mill was always his biggest complaint. He had no idea how deadly some of the products and materials were. When he was diagnosed with mesothelioma, we knew to call Joe Bornstein's office to get my dad the help he needs and the justice he deserves.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
A hazardous materials team from the Environmental Protection Agency removed dangerous chemicals from a warehouse in California, which had been turned into an unlicensed biolab staffed by Chinese nationals. Fox's William Lajeunesse has the story from Reedley, California.
Malaria, dengue fever, hepatitis, even specimens labeled Ebola, all found inside this abandoned warehouse.
Worst case scenario, someone could have gotten really sick and they could have spread it throughout the community. This is the now famous garden hose.
Inspector Jess Harper discovered the underground lab by chance, seeing this garden hose mysteriously popping out of a wall. Inside, she found Chinese nationals, hundreds of genetically engineered mice, freezers filled with blood, tissue, and thousands of vials of biological agents, from TB and malaria to dozens of silver packets labeled Ebola.
This presents a moment of flashing yellow and red lights to both the law enforcement and the public health systems.
The lab was set up by Jesse Zhu, an international fugitive convicted of stealing millions in U.S. intellectual property to, in his words, defeat the American aggressor. Zhu entered the U.S. illegally from Canada, then opened the lab with $2 million from accounts congressional investigators linked to China's Communist Party. Harper says his story of being a simple businessman didn't add up.
I didn't think that the communist government in China would be that concerned about Americans' well-being and health to be interested in selling COVID tests and pregnancy tests.
I refuse to accept the idea that nothing else was happening in this facility.
When city manager Nicole Ziba reached out to Washington for help, she says the CDC hung up on her in mid-sentence.
As an entity and agency, I think there is some room for improvement.
This morning, the EPA cleared the building. All told, inspectors took out 100 tons of toxic chemicals, equipment, and bioagents to be incinerated.
This is a national problem. This is a biosecurity issue for our entire country. We can't simply say that because the building is clean, the issue has been solved.
Now, the FBI found no criminal intent and the CDC no evidence of a crime, even though it refused to test a single sample, even at city expense. A congressional inquiry found the agency's response, quote, inadequate and baffling, revealing a serious gap in national security. In Reedley, California, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
A deadly winter storm continues to move across the country. Some areas even are bracing for even more snow and ice. Fox's Connor Hansen with that story.
In Rochester, New York, a small American Airlines plane slid off a runway in snowy conditions. None of the 53 passengers and crew on board were hurt. In nearby Buffalo, several feet of lake-effect snow now accumulating. Some areas could end up with 7 feet of snow after this week. And the tri-state area is expecting several inches heading into the weekend, with some officials asking people to stay home if possible.
New Jersey will be remaining in a state of emergency, which we first declared ahead of the storms that we saw last week.
Freezing temperatures are being blamed for 14 deaths in Tennessee, leading some people to spend the day handing out supplies to help people make it through the deep freeze.
I think it's definitely been the case that, people who are poor and people who are homeless are getting hit the hardest.
In Portland, Oregon, 3 people were killed and a baby was injured on Wednesday after a power line fell on their car.
The vehicle was electrified, and so when they touched the ground and touched the vehicle, the electrical current ran through them, and the end result is we have 3 deceased individuals.
Videos from other parts of the state show roads and trees completely coated in ice. And outside of Chicago, massive ice jams are forming and could flood homes along the Kankakee River.
You can't do anything. It's impossible. You just stand there and you watch it and you pray to God, oh my God, please don't come in my house.
Up to 5 inches of snow is expected here in New York City Friday. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Well, scientists say more of Greenland may be melting than originally thought. A new study claims the amount of Greenland's ice sheet that has been melting since 1985 may have been underestimated by as much as 20%, or 1,965 square miles. The new figures concerning scientists who say that much of a miscalculation shows increased risk of shifts in ocean currents and global weather patterns. Greenland's melting ice sheet is said to be the biggest contributor to the rise in global sea levels. Its rate of ice retreat has been increasing steadily since the year 2000.
A severe drought around one of the world's most important trade routes is causing major economic issues. The drought, which began last year in Panama, causing water travel along the Panama Canal to be cut by 36%. The canal is one of the most used trade routes in the world. The dipping water levels, which are causing massive traffic jams for vessels, could now cost the nation between $500 and $700 million in losses this year, compared to previous estimates of $200 million. The drought is one of the most severe to ever strike the Central American country. Canal authorities say the drought can be blamed on climate change and the El Nino weather pattern.
And speaking of weather, we have all of the answers coming up in our full 5-day. Just how chilly is it going to stay?
Yeah, well, stay tuned to find out.
Wow, guys, it's been cold outside. Look, this morning low, we had single digits once again, even a couple of spots below zero. When are we expecting a warm up? Finally, when are 30s going to be back? I'll have all the answers and timing coming up.
Behind every keepsake, there's a memory. Behind every photo, there's a story. Behind Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration, there's people giving back by bringing back what was thought to be lost. The details, the time, and the expertise, all packaged up behind a name that Mainers have trusted for over 35 years. Statewide commercial and residential services. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories. We'll handle the rest.
Welcome to the Orono Arcade, your local, affordable destination. We want to provide you with the best experience we can without costing a small fortune. Our ever-popular 9-hole blacklight mini golf course is a huge attraction. Plus, we have the best arcade video games to choose from, including both modern and retro games. We have weeknight specials consisting of... We look forward to seeing you soon at the Orono Arcade.
Toyota trains certified technicians. Is that important?
Well, you wouldn't hire just anyone to help you move, would you?
No.
Of course not.
Not again.
Get your Toyota ready for the year's coldest and harshest weather. See your New England Toyota dealer for great service offers to help keep your Toyota dependable and fuel efficient all winter long. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
I smoked a pack a day for 45 years. When my doctor suggested lung cancer screening, I wasn't sure I wanted to know the results.
If you're age 55 or older and smoke now or smoked heavily in the past, ask your provider if lung cancer screening is right for you.
When my first screening came up clear, what a relief.
A new test can find it earlier when treatment is more successful.
I quit smoking a few years ago, but I plan on being screened every year.
The man who started it all is back.
I'm John Walsh, host of America's Most Wanted.
Premieres Monday, January 22nd on Fox.
Welcome back, folks. Our main weather is brought to you by Fire Farms. Fire Farms is Belfast's #1 dispensary, offering a great selection of pipes, water pipes, CBD products, and of course, much more. And a cool day out there today. Temperatures slightly below our average. We should be at around 28 degrees. We're at 26, folks. 29 in Bar Harbor. Up north, though, oh boy, surprise, surprise, right? Even colder temperatures, teens in Greenville. So that cold air is here and it will be sticking around. Look at this. Wind chill advisories have been posted till around 9 a.m. on Friday, and that's up north of Greenville, north of Millinocket area. That's where it's going to be bitterly cold, especially by early tomorrow morning. We're going to stay cold too. We're looking at 2 degrees overnight tonight. Tomorrow, though, 20 degrees as a high, 19 by Saturday, and then we finally start to warm up. Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, 30s will be back, so still above average. Not too bad, though, right? But compared to what we've been having, it definitely will feel a lot warmer. Now, a little bit of snow down south, New York City, finally broke that record of over 700 days without an inch or more of snow. Can you believe that? I used to live in New York City, and I don't remember anything like that. The worst winter we had, we still had over a foot of snow. So definitely climate change has been showing a lot more signs throughout the world, honestly. For now, we're in Maine, of course, we're used to snow, right? We do have a lot of snow on the ground. Nothing has fallen, though. Just a good amount of clouds in the region, and those cold temperatures still sticking around. Saturday, we might see a few flurries in the area, but very, very limited accumulations. You got to go into Canada, Quebec, once again, getting in on that sweet spot of some more snow in the next coming days. Like I said, it finally feels like winter, right? 5 inches of snow here in town, more like 4 to 5 up north, just the Millinocket area. You see those pink and those purple colors all stretching all the way down closer to Greenville and then up north closer to Caribou. Well, that indicates over a foot of snow all over the region. We're not surprised, right? We've seen well over 2-3 feet some winters in the past. Winds are very calm outside. Besides the coast, Bar Harbor's at 6 miles an hour. Machias, look at that, big winters at 11-mile-per-hour winds. Wind gusts are closer to 20. With the colder temperatures, it just feels extra cold. Tonight, though, lonely temperature of 2 degrees. Mainly clear skies, though, so we're going to get that radiational cooling, all that cold air from the atmosphere making its way down to the surface. Light winds as well, but even with the light breeze, it's going to feel like we're at 10 below zero. For tomorrow, though, much better. 20 degrees, still below average. Increasing clouds, though, and then a light breeze once again. Our extended forecast outlook does show teens in the area on Saturday, 20s by Sunday, and then 30s finally Monday into Tuesday. Beth?
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you so much. Looking forward to those warmer temps at the end of that 5-day.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, coming up, we have sports. Stay with us.
CEM DP Porter Contractors have been in business for more than 40 years. We have recently added an electrical division to further be of service to our loyal customers. CEM specializes in design build for commercial and residential projects. Whether you need help with older construction, new build-outs, or electrical services, CEM has you covered. CEM is currently hiring for all positions. We offer competitive pay as well as great benefits. To inquire about employment or construction, please reach out to 848-7486 or visit CEMMaine.com.
Hi, this is Jim with Lowry & Associates.
Some guy slid across the center line and hit my daughter. The cops said the guy was driving way too fast for the snowy conditions.
I'm so sorry you guys are going through this. Is your daughter okay?
She just had surgery yesterday. Is there any way you can come meet us at the hospital?
Absolutely. I can meet you at the hospital right now.
Lowry & Associates came to the hospital and settled my daughter's case for $250,000.
I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. Call us. We win for you.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
We the big dog in this fight. Let's go!
Get ready for the NFC Divisional Playoffs on Fox.
Let's bring it to these boys.
Christian McCaffrey leads the top-seeded Niners as they begin their road to a title, while Jordan Love and the Packers look to shock the world and keep their incredible run alive.
We cannot be beat. Let's go!
Packers, Niners, Saturday at 7:30 Eastern on Fox.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Engstrom's Auto Service in Guilford. We specialize in all foreign and domestic service and alignments.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Let's start with some breaking news from Thursday night. Per Pete Thamel from ESPN, Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien is moving on from New England. Thamel reports that O'Brien is set to be hired as the new offensive coordinator at Ohio State University. O'Brien heads back to the Big Ten, where he formerly coached Penn State University. He also served as head coach of the Houston Texans and the Alabama offensive coordinator. So now the Patriots will be on the lookout for a new OC if they weren't already. All right, let's move on to some news from the cheer mat. Defending Class B state champs Ellsworth are looking to start their comp season on a high note at the Big East Championship Saturday in Presque Isle. The Eagles, also defending Big East champs, are coming off of a weekend where they had the top score at the Maine Cheer Coaches Association Showcase. Great sign for things to come. Even with how young this squad is, the team carries a lot over from last season, and they believe the experience they had at last year's events will give them an upper hand this weekend.
I feel like we're definitely a little bit better than last year because we know what to expect. We have a lot of strong skills and a lot of strong tumbling. It's just about putting it all together and doing it with each other. But overall, we just have to do our job.
They've all been working very hard. They all have a very common goal, and I think they're ready to go start the season off at Big East and see what they can do.
All right, after the Big East Championship comes the PVC Championship, and then regionals, and then ultimately the state tournament in February. While they are confident in their chances to repeat down in Augusta, the Eagles are still taking things day by day and comp by comp, something they hope to improve on from last year, and it's a key mindset to have, especially with the margin of error in cheer being so slim.
Last year we didn't actually win PVCs because we all were so on the high from winning Big East and looking towards the bigger picture. So I think this year that teaches us to take it step by step, and it's not just states that we're looking forward, we're looking at each individual competition.
Looking forward, we just are hoping that Big East ends the way that we hope, but it's literally one slip of the hand and it's a score change.
All right, wishing them luck, and everyone else good luck competing up there. Let's go to the basketball court now. Maine women's and men's hoops in action. They're both taking on UMBC. Let's kick things off in the pit. Maine women's hoops hosting the Retrievers from University of Maryland, Baltimore County. Starting in the second half, Maine up by 11 at the break. Nice ball movement here in the third. Sarah Talon, she's going to get it on the inside. She's going to stop and find Ann Simon, who had drifted to the elbow. She fires from long range and connects on the three. The Retrievers have it now. It's Paloma Iradier. She kicks it to Grace Cesaretti, sets the screen. Cesaretti lets it fly and drains a three of her own. But Maine would really step on it in the third. Talon again, she's going to get it from Adriana Smith. She's going to get it back to Smith, who nails the three from the elbow, showing off the range right there. All right, Simon now, still with the Black Bears. She gets it to Smith. Jab step, spins, gets the bucket, and connects. She had 33 points. Maine wins big, 76-47. All right, to the men's game now. They're on the road for this one, trying to get a win in Baltimore. First half is where we will start. Peter Filipovich has it. He's going to get inside, stop, and nail the turnaround J. Maine within one. Second half, here we go. Maine down two. Kellen Tynes is going to get inside, but his layup can't go. But look at Adam Cisse with the putback. Maine down four now late. We're moving on here. Christian Fearbergs gets it at the top. He makes it a 1-point game with the straight-on three-pointer. So Maine with a chance to tie it here at the end. 15 seconds left. Offensive rebound, and it's going to go out to Keon Burns at the top of the key right here, but he can't get the jumper to go. Black Bears drop a close one, 70-65. All right, let's move to some high school hoops now. Central boys hosting PCHS on Thursday night. We're going to start this one off in the third quarter. Pirates lead. Scott Chadbourne kicks it to Noah Kane. His three-point shot is nothing but net. Nails that one there. Later on, it's Ben Higgins out to Brady Gaw. He's going to get this one from range. He pulls it, and he drains it. He had 29 points on the night. Pirates were up big after three. To the fourth, Central's Ethan Ladd picks off Chase Lander's pass. He takes it all the way to the hole for the deuce through traffic, too. Nice move right there. Finally, off a rebound, it's Chadbourne taking it over half court, and a sweet move at the foul line. Get the coast-to-coast lay-in to go. PCHS wins it 63-35. All right, for some other scores from around the area, Old Town over MDI in boys basketball, 63-45. Bucksport beats Foxcroft Academy, 71-52. Caribou beats Foxcroft Girls, 88-23. And then Southern Aroostook over Stearns, 69-22. All right, that's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
PDQ Door presents CHI Doors. CHI doors are tough, dependable, engineered for fit and function. CHI Doors from PDQ Door, Hamden, Brockport, Bath, Waterville, Holton, Presque Isle, and pdqdoor.com.
I had a slip and fall accident. I wasn't sure what to do. Joe Bornstein's office handled everything. The experience was much better than what I expected. They were very professional and responsive to all my questions and concerns. I highly recommend the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Over 25,000 victories for injured Mainers just like me. If you've been injured in an accident, call Joe. It's that easy. Tell him you mean business.
Call Joe today for a free case evaluation. There's never a fee unless you win.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks to help grow businesses, communities, families. A legacy of capability and technology that's made Ford F-Series America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Now get 1.9% APR for 72 months on a 2023 Ford F-150, only at your New England Ford dealers.
From the land to the sea, Chase's Family Restaurant is the place to be.
Are you looking for a place to unwind after a long day?
Then come check out our Hideaway Lounge.
With a bar that's both upbeat and laid back. And it's the perfect atmosphere for anyone who wants to unwind after work.
Or kick it up for the weekends with daily drink specials and a full dinner menu.
You can fill up on a good time any night of the week.
Thank you for being a part of our family.
Here at Chase's Family Restaurant.
Mom and Dad, you must be so proud.
We're proud of all of our children.
She has to say that.
Oh, you can't run away from me forever.
Just a heads up, this is my good side.
Yeah.
Bazinga, bazinga, bazinga.
Ah! Are you trying to kill me?
Weekdays at 6 on Fox 22.
Always standing ready to answer the call to service. Service your garage door. PDQ Door. pdqdoor.com.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
Stop lying!
I'm just the cleaning lady.
The Cleaning Lady premieres Tuesday, March 5th on Fox.
The United Way of Kennebec Valley announced fundraising success this year that will help them support area nonprofits moving forward. More than 160 people from local businesses, nonprofit agencies, and other community organizations gathered for a breakfast at the Governor Hill Mansion in Augusta. The United Way of Kennebec Valley announced they surpassed their goal this year by raising more than $1,900,000. The money will be used to help support 58 nonprofits or school-based programs in the Kennebec Valley. That is definitely great news for that region, that is for sure.
Absolutely. So much money raised and so many different groups benefiting from that.
Yeah.
Something to be really proud of.
Absolutely. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us. From everyone here at Fox 22 News, take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.